Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a personal bankruptcy attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to talk to you today about situations where Chapter 7 is not your best option. Chapter 7 does not make sense. And the first instance I can give you would be a situation where you're behind on your mortgage payment and you want to try to save your house and cure your mortgage arrearage. Chapter 7 is really not designed for that. That's what a Chapter 13 is built for. So Chapter 7 does not give you the opportunity or a long period of time to catch your mortgage up or to repay your mortgage over 5 months, 10 months, 30 months, whatever the case may be. So if you're behind in your house or your car and you want to save those items, Chapter 7 is probably not where you want to be. It could work if you want to surrender those items, and Chapter 7, many times you'll have a month or two to catch up, but if you've got a significant arrearage, you're way behind, Chapter 7 is not where you want to be. And in that same vein, if you have a lot of debts, secured debts, where there's, again, collateral behind it, and you need to restructure your payments, Chapter 7 is not the place to be. Chapter 13 gives you the option to create a plan where you sort of combine all your debts into one big lump sum payment, and you pay that monthly to the trustee. That's what a 13 does. But if Chapter 7, if you have 10 or 15 creditors you're trying to deal with, Chapter 7 is not really the most efficient way to do that. Again, Chapter 7 works for starting over. It works if you have mostly unsecured debt, but if you have a lot of secured debt that you need to restructure, Chapter 7 is not really where you want to be. Chapter 7 will not work if you have relatively high income, and I use relatively in quotes. What I mean by that is if your income is more than, say, $45,000 a year for an individual, or more than $75,000 a year for a family of four, then Chapter 7 is going to be a bit of an uphill battle, and that's because of the means test. The means test is a calculation we do prior to filing that determines whether you qualify, whether you even are eligible for Chapter 7. And my experience has been that the people who really get the squeeze are folks who are in the $85,000, $90,000 a year for a family of four, that territory, because you make too much money for Chapter 7 comfortably. You probably don't make enough for a Chapter 13 comfortably, so that's really where the squeeze is. So middle-class families, really bankruptcy has become less viable for them, and we have to work really hard to figure out a way to squeeze you into either a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. So Chapter 7, again, is a great option. It's where I start all my bankruptcy analysis, but sometimes it just does not make sense because, again, either income, because of assets, because of the type of debt you have, and that's really something that you want to talk about with your attorney. So I would say when you go in to meet with an attorney, you say, I've got a debt problem here. I can't pay my bills. I've got more debts, more monthly obligations than income, and I need to talk to a bankruptcy lawyer. Every option needs to be on the table. I say start with Chapter 7 to look and see whether that makes sense. If not, you can move to a Chapter 13. But I want you to get some perspective as to when Chapter 7 does not make sense, and where Chapter 13 probably makes more sense, in certain circumstances. So anyway, I invite you to call me or Susan Bloom in my office if you have any questions about whether Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 makes sense to you. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Please also check me out on social media, visit our website and our blog, and of course, any questions, we're happy to help you. So again, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I will talk to you in the next video.